Here's an example of something that radian measure can do for us that degree measure can't do for us. So we have a surveyor that sights her 6'2" helper on a nearby hill. So we've got the surveyor here, and measuring that angle between the feet of her assistant and the head of her assistant. That turns out to be 37 minutes. Notice in this problem there's something a little bit confusing. When we write a prime here in the context of lengths, this means feet and this means inches. But in this context of degrees, that means degree minutes, right? Minutes of a degree. So watch out for the use of primes. It kind of depends on the context here. Alright, so our idea is this. The height of the surveyor is basically the arc length. So 6'2", or that would be 74 inches altogether. And the distance between them is basically the radius. And here's where radian measure comes in, because radian measure is arc length divided by radius. And we can rearrange this equation. If I multiply both sides by radius and divide by radian measure, I get that the radius is the arc length divided by the radian measure. Now I know the arc length is 74 inches, and I don't have the radian measure. That's what I need to figure out. Well, I know the angle measure is 37 minutes, so I'm going to need to turn 37 minutes into a measurement in radians. First thing I want to do is change it into degrees, because I know 180 degrees is the same thing as pi radians. That'll help me convert over to radians. So I need to get rid of the minutes, and 60 minutes makes 1 degree. So that tells us that we've got, since the units of minutes cancel, we've got 37/60ths of a degree. Now I need to get that into radian measure, but that's easy because 180 degrees and pi radians are the same thing. So the radian measure of this angle is 37 pi over, let's see, 6 times 180, that would be 6 times 18 would be 60 plus 48, that's 108, right? And then there's 2 zeros behind this. So we have 37 pi over 1080. Okay, now I know the angle in radian measure, so I can figure out the radius here. I just have to divide by the radian measure, but then dividing is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So I can just multiply by the reciprocal of the radian measure, which would be 10,800 divided by 37 pi. Let's put that into our calculator and see what we get. So we have 74 times 10,800 divided by, be sure to use parentheses here because I want to divide by this entire numerator, not just by the first number, 7 pi. So I get 6,875.494 inches. Let's maybe convert that to feet. I'll just take that number and divide by 12. So 572.95 feet. If we wanted to, we could convert that into yards as well. Because there are 3 feet in a yard, I can just divide this by 3. So about 191 yards apart.